What is going on, everybody? Today we have a longer video for you guys. So this is something I haven't really done this year, and I apologize for that. But we are going to rank all 6 months worth of bowling balls that have been released in 2025. We are going to rank them on our categorical scale based on the 6 categories of strong smooth, strong sharp, medium sharp, weak smooth, and weak sharp. Those words determine where the ball's going to hook and what it's going to do. So strong and smooth is going to hook really early and want to be smooth down lane. Weak and sharp is going to hook a lot later, be a lot more angular down lane. So what we're going to do is look at all 47 bowling balls that have been released so far as of June 2025, from January to June, and we're going to put them in their categories and try to pit them against each other. If you enjoy these kinds of videos, make sure to drop a subscription and let me know in the comments which videos you like to see and which ones you don't like to see. I'll be taking out any of the videos you guys don't like watching and adding more of the ones you guys do. But let's get right into it. We have every bowling ball on the list. You'll notice there's usually a urethane category down here. I removed it because there were no urethanes released in 2025 so far. The last urethanes that were released were in early 2024. Little bit interesting, little bit weird. Will we see a urethane ban in the PBA soon? I don't know. Probably not, but maybe. Let's get into it though. We are starting off with the newest ball on the list. That is the Supra Clutch. This one has not released yet as of the creation of this video. This one I'm expecting to be medium sharp. However, I'm going to already put it near the end. I'm going to put it near the bottom of medium sharp. I think that's going to be like right on the edge of like medium sharp and weak and sharp. The Super GT was always weak and sharp. This one is a handful of boards stronger overall though. Then moving on, we have the Ion Pro Solid, another new one from Storm Bowling. This one's a little bit interesting. I want to put it into medium smooth a little bit, but I also want to put it into weak smooth. We're going to even that out quick. I think I'm going to put it on, man, the top of weak and smooth, I think. Top of weak and smooth is going to be the play. It's going to be the number one ball in the weak and smooth category. It could go on the edge between medium smooth and weak and smooth, though. Next up, we have the Jackal EJ. This one is very much a standalone strong and smooth bowling ball. This ball is hefty, very, very strong bowling ball. It is a little smoother than people expected. However, it does lane shine a little bit quicker than what I thought it would too. Every one I've seen of this is usually looks like it's been polished, even though it comes out of the box at like 3,000-ish grit. Moving on, Hustle Earth. Hustle Earth is definitely a weak and smooth bowling ball. We're going to kind of put it in the middle for now because the Hustle Earth and the Ion Pro Solid are nowhere near each other, even though they're in the same category. It's something to keep in mind as we're going through this. Next up, High Road 40, definitely a weak and sharp bowling ball. The High Roads are always weaker bowling balls. The Road Warrior is the one that kind of creeped up into the medium sharp category a little bit, but the High Road 40 is definitely a handful of boards weaker than the Road Warrior. Next up, Origin EX. Origin EX I have as a medium smooth ball. It's pretty much just like what the Absolute Power was. This one's a little earlier, little smoother just based on the cover design, but definitely medium and smooth ball. Paragon Shadow coming up next. Now, this is an interesting one. Paragon Shadow versus Jackal EJ I haven't really seen. I'm going to put the Shadow up first and then the EJ right after it. I see those balls as fairly similar, in my opinion, so I think they're going to be pretty close together. I don't think you need both in the same bag. Are they going to shape differently? Absolutely, but I see them as different. Next up, Hustle Glow is going to be weak and sharp, pretty much in the same ballpark as the Hustle Earth, just longer and sharper because it's the Pearl. Next is the Super CUDA Power Core Pearl. This one I'm also going to put in the middle of the medium and sharp category. This is a very, very standard medium and sharp bowling ball, probably closer to the weaker end of medium and sharp. This one has that stronger cover, but it still has that mediocre, moderate Super CUDA core. I'll keep my other opinions of this ball. It seems like it's actually okay so far, which is a good sign. Hater Pearl. Hater Pearl is going to be a strong and sharp ball. That one's probably going to go about right in the middle of the strong sharp category. One of the most angular balls on the market right now. Ethos Solid coming in on medium smooth. This is one of the smoother balls on the market right now. Now, how it compares to the Origin is going to be kind of interesting. I'm going to put them pretty I'm going to put the Ethos earlier. From what I've seen, that Ethos wants to hook at your toes. For most people, and it's just going to be super smooth down lane. So I think I'm going to put them here, but they are very close together. Ultimate Wrecker coming up next. I'm actually putting the Ultimate Wrecker in the Weakened Sharp, but in front of the High Road 40. The Ultimate Wrecker hooks probably like a foot sooner than the High Road 40. Turbo X. Turbo X is a weakened smooth ball, one of two weakened smooth balls from the Brunswick brands. That one is nowhere near the Ion Pro Solid. It's closer to the Hustle Earth, but we're just gonna shoot the middle ground this time around. We're gonna shoot the middle between Ion Pro and Hustle Earth. Next up is the Power Hitter. Power Hitter we're going to put on the earlier end of strong and sharp category. That one is a hybrid, and it still has that weaker core in it of the Hitter series. It's not as weak as everyone always thinks it is, including me, but it is weaker at the end of the day. So we're going to put that one on the upper edge of strong and sharp because it wants to hook a little bit earlier. I have seen very little about that ball, like actually in person yet, which is kind of surprising. It's only been about a week or two since release. Still a little weird. No Doubt Solid. No Doubt Solid is going to go on the bottom end of medium and smooth, not because it's super, well, we're going to put it like 3/4 of the way. Not because it's super, super weak, but because it's so angular. So it does hook later than a lot of balls in the medium and smooth category, like the Origin Ethos. The No Doubt hooks way later, unless you change the surface. We're going off a box surface though. But that No Doubt is pretty sharp. It's pretty much just like the No Doubt, the original No Doubt that's out. All right, let's start with row number 2. We have the Jackal Onyx. The Jackal Onyx 100% is going to be the earliest bowling ball on this list. Without a question, it is probably one of the earliest bowling balls on the market today. Outer Limit Solid, we are also going to put in the strong and smooth category. Where we're going to put it, I'm actually going to put the Outer Limits. Watch this. We're going to put it in front of the Paragon and the Jackal. That Outer Limits, even though it's a little weaker of a core cover combo, it hooks at your toes. That is one of the earliest hooking bowling balls I've seen in a while. 3D Offset Assault, 3D Offset, we're going to put, I think, right after those two, after the Paragon and after the Jackal. I think that's probably a better spot for it. It's also similar to these two. The 3D Offset has a weaker core, but weaker core, but stronger cover stock than potentially that Jackal or that Paragon. Honestly, with the Paragon, it's fairly close. The Paragon just has a much stronger core to it. Coming up next, Troublemaker Solid. Troublemaker Solid, we are going to put about the middle of the medium and smooth category. Weaker core, weaker cover, still a stronger symmetrical ball at the end of the day. Zen 25, that's going to go at the front of the medium and sharp category. This ball wants to flare a ton. It is a Zen with that AI core, makes it want to hook even earlier and roll even more forward, which is kind of crazy, but that's really where it's going to fit. Storm Identity is going to be a strong and sharp bowling ball. Now, where it is compared to the Hater Pearl is a little interesting. I'm going to put it right in front of the Hater Pearl, but not by much. I think the Identity wants to hook around the same spot, but it is smoother than that Hater. Coming up next was the Stealth Mode. The Stealth Mode is definitely a medium and smooth bowling ball. Ooh, where does it compare to these guys? I'm going to put it in front of the Ethos. Yeah, I'm going to put that Stealth Mode is probably one of the earliest medium and smooth balls on the market. That and the Ethos are very close together. I don't see much of a difference between these two bowling balls. They have very similar downlane reactions. So that almost comes down to colorway. Which one is your favorite, which is interesting. But unfortunately, we had to find that out from like 3 different parties instead of Brunswick or Track saying much. Piranha Power Core. Now, honestly, I do not know which of these is going to be stronger. I'm going to assume that the Piranha is a little bit later than the Super CUDA because of the cover strength. I think the cover strength of the Super CUDA is a little bit stronger. Rockstar. Rockstar definitely comes after the Origin EX and well after the Stealth Mode and the Ethos. The Rockstar is like a stereotypical medium smooth ball at the end of the day. It's not too early, not too late. Just kind of very consistent. Just, you know what you're getting from it. Evoke Hysteria. Evoke Hysteria does hook a little bit earlier than you would expect it to. I'm going to assume that there's going to be stuff that fits between the Evoke and the Hysteria, or between the Power Hitter and the Hysteria, though. The Hysteria does hook a little sooner than the Identity and definitely earlier than the Hater Pearl. Next up is the OG Torpedo, and I'm going to be very honest with you guys. I have never seen this ball go down the lane except for online. I have never seen it go down the lane in person. I've never seen someone own it in person. We have yet to sell one at the pro shop, which is crazy. This ball basically got ignored, which is weird. I don't know why. There was no advertising. There was no nothing for this ball. I barely saw any reviews of it. I don't know what it does very much. I do know that it has a weaker core cover than what you'd expect, but it's definitely stronger than the Identity. The Torpedo it's weird. It's supposed to be just middle of the road, strong, sharp bowling ball, but I haven't seen it go down the lane much. It's very interesting. All right, let's keep going though. We're going to the Hammerhead. The Hammerhead is definitely a medium and smooth bowling ball. The question is, how does it compare to the Rockstar? I'm putting it in front of the Rockstar by just a hair. I think the Hammerhead and the Rockstar are almost the same bowling ball in a lot of ways, so they're going to go right next to each other. Next up is the Dark Side. I actually just drilled one of these. It rolls really, really good. I'm a big fan of it. Should it fall into weak and sharp? I think it should. I think it should, and I think it should fit before the Ultimate Wrecker. I think the Dark Side fits stronger than the Ultimate Wrecker, but still in the weak and sharp category. Really good piece, though. I was surprised. And surprised might not be the right word. Next, Track Cypher Pearl. Cypher Pearl definitely goes in front of the Super Cuda and in front of the Piranha. That is one of the more forward rolling. No, it's going to go after. It goes after. It hooks later than both of these. However, it goes more forward and it goes straighter. It's a weirder bowling ball. If you want a lot of angle, don't get the Cypher Pearl. It goes a little forward off the end of the pattern. I see a Crown Victory down here. Crown Victory definitely goes after the Cypher, after the Piranha, and after the Super Cuda. That's a weak bowling ball. This is basically Brunswick's Deviate Dark Side, but it's a little stronger. Then we're going to Motive with the Max Thrill Hybrid. There isn't much Motive on here because, of course, in 2025, they've only released like 5 bowling balls. It's like one every 90 days or whatever it is. No, one every 45 days, sorry. Max Thrill Hybrid, I would love to put as a weak and smooth bowling ball, but man, is this thing strong. I'm going to put it right next to the Ion Pro Solid, and they are going to be nearly touching. They are so close, which is weird because they're wildly different core and covers, but they are both very strong bowling balls. Going back to Radical with the Snapshot, another bowling ball I barely see go down the lane. Radical is just not having a hot year this year at the end of the day. I'm going to put it right above the Supra Clutch. I think these two are going to hook in pretty similar parts of the lane. Black Widow Mania. That's a strong and sharp bowling ball, but where does it fit? Ooh. I think the Mania and the Evoke are kind of close. Oh, man. I'd love to put it in between. I think we're going to do this. We're going to put the Mania in between the Hysteria and the Torpedo. It seems like the best spot for it. Crusher Hybrid is coming up next. This was the much more angular version of the Crusher. I see that as, I think it's a little later than the Power. No, it's not a little later than the Power Hitter. It's a little bit in front of it. Crusher Hybrid is going to definitely be a strong and sharp ball. It has HK22C, a lot more angular according to a lot of the Brunswick guys, but I think it's a little earlier than the Power Hitter. Oh, we got a weird ball, the Level. I don't even know if the Level knows what it wants to do at the end of the day. It is definitely a weak and smooth bowling ball. I think it actually fits after the Hustle Earth. I think the Hustle Earth hooks a little earlier. The thing with the Level, well, it's out of factory. I'm going to put it in front just because factory, it comes at like 1,000 grit. The thing with the Level is it's highly, highly versatile. If you drill it weak, it's going to be super weak and a good house shot ball. You drill it strong, you're mimicking urethane to a certain degree. At flare, it's just a little bit longer and a little bit smoother. Or a little bit sharper, sorry. But I think that Level is so versatile. It fits in the weak and smooth. It's just very hard to say where. Coming up next is the Equinox. Equinox is going to be, I think, a little earlier than all of these guys. Because I always see the Equinox and the Identity as kind of, well, yeah, Yeah, I do see it as earlier. I see this one to be kind of close to that power hitter. I think personally, the Equinox is stronger than the Hysteria just by a little bit. It does flare a lot more and it wants to hook a little earlier, but these two could be flipped around a little bit. I think these three, the Hysteria, Equinox, and Black Widow Mania, are the best Pearl ASIMs in each of their respective lines. So that's something to keep in mind as you're looking at these. But coming up next is the Lethal Venom. The Lethal Venom is Motive's strong and or medium and smooth Venom ball, stronger ASIM Venom core. This is going to get a little tougher near the end here because we have so many bowling balls that are close, so it's kind of finding those little gaps that these things actually fit in. But the Lethal Venom, I think, is around the same everything as the EX. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to move those down. I'm going to move the Venom up, I think, in between the Origin and the Hammerhead. Coming up next is the Criterion Hybrid. Criterion Hybrid is a super, super angular Criterion. I think it fits in, well, I don't know if it actually is stronger than that Equinox. I don't think it is. I think it hooks later. I would say it's honestly close to the Black Widow. So we're going to do this. We're actually going to move the Widow up, and we're going to fit the Criterion right in between. That Criterion is a lot more angular and a lot longer than anyone would have expected. Next, we have the Hypnotize HK22C. Vaporize and Mesmerize Baby is basically what it is. It's a hybrid Mesmerize. I'm going to put that up in the strong smooth category. Oh man, I think it's about the same as that 3D Offset Assault. I think it's very close to that 3D Offset Assault. The Hypnotize might be a little early. No, I don't think it's earlier. I think it's pretty much here. Kind of funny that these four are all hybrids, by the way. Just a little wonky thing, but let's keep going. We have an RST Hyperdrive. RST Hyperdrive, how does that hook later than the Paragon Shadow? I don't think it does. I think it fits in between. It's kind of odd. I know that I said the Jackal and the Paragon are kind of close, but I think that RST kind of like fits in that very tiny gap between them, just as a stronger but smooth bowling ball. The Torpedo Direct Hit. We're just going to put that at the end of the weak and smooth category because there should really be a plastic category for this thing, but it is insanely weak and insanely smooth. It is not angular in the slightest with that lovely plastic cover stock. All right, special effect from Hammer. This was a shiny solid version of the OG effect. Hammer usually does this where they release one of their signature line balls every year. So like for the Black Widows, they had the Mania in 25. They had the Black Widow 3.0 in 24. Effect was kind of the same way. They had the effect in 24. They have the special in 25. And then the effect tour kind of right in between them both. But I always said the special effect was a super, super weak, strong, and smooth ball. Almost fits in the strong sharp, but I think it's still on the smooth side. So we're going to put it at the very end of strong smooth. Gamebreaker 5 Pearl. This one is being slept on like no other. I think that fits in front of the Super CUDA. And if you need a Pearl bowling ball, this is a fantastic one to get. That is super, super cheap. IQ AI. IQ AI, I think still fits in medium sharp. I think it is actually, is it earlier than the Supra? I think it, or sorry, later. I think it's a little later than the Supra, especially out of box. That IQ hooks super, super late. So I think that's how that's going to go. Moving on, we have 3 bowling balls remaining. We have the Columbia 300 Rally. This is basically just a top speed or a high speed, whichever one you want. I think it hooks pretty close to that Hypnotize. We're going to put it, I think it goes right after the Hypnotize. I know the Rally wants to hook early and is, yeah. We're going to put the Rally in front of the Hypnotize. So it's going to go Rally and then Hypnotize in this order. Those are pretty close though. These 3 bowling balls, the Offset, the Rally, and the Hypnotize, don't get all 3. Don't even get 2 of them. They're all going to hook in fairly similar spots, so you only need 1 of them. But then moving on, we have the Storm Typhoon. Storm Typhoon is super, super weak. That is going to go after the High Road 40 by a lot. It's probably closer to that Hustle Glow territory, but we'll be smushing all of this together at the end to really show a true list of what this all looks like. And then finally, we have the Hazmat Pearl. I see the Hazmat Pearl as one of the only stronger... Ooh, that did not work as well as I was hoping. And let's get a little closer. There we go. I see that as one of the only stronger shiny bowling balls that came out so far. This is kind of weird looking at this, that there's only two stronger medium and sharp bowling balls that have been released this year. So Optimum Idol Pearl would also fit here. Something like even the Primal Rage Evolution kind of fits in this category. So companies must have seen that they needed to release some weaker equipment. But let's smush everything together quick, and then we will actually be able to see what the final categorization of 2025 for first half actually looks like. This is kind of interesting. You look at, I know things aren't going to be completely level. Apologies for that. We had to use Canva because for some reason Tier Maker blows up my computer. I have no idea why, but here it is. Here are 47 bowling balls ranked. So let's do a little bit of a final conclusion on all of this. Looking at it, kind of unexpected is that there was a lot of weakened or medium and sharp bowling balls released so far in 25. Last year, the ASIMs really ran the show, and they still are. They're still what, 3, 6, 9 total, 18 total ASIMs or 18 strong bowling balls in this category, and then 2 extra ASIMs in the medium smooth, and then 1, I believe, only in the weakened smooth. 2 technically with the direct hit. So very interesting. It's been about a 50-50 ASIM to SIM split over the last 2 years, and this kind of showcases that. But honestly, it's a very well-rounded what's been released this year. Now, I have little previews of every single bowling ball on this list on the channel if you want to see a little bit more about what the bowling ball does specifically. But otherwise, this is where all 47 bowling balls fit for the first half of 2025. At the end of 2025, we will add to this list, actually make a new one because I'm going to run out of room for the back half of 25, all of their releases. So if you use our 6-ball categorization scale, here's a good chart to use. Make sure to screenshot it. Otherwise, I will put this chart in our Discord. So make sure to go check out our Discord down below in the comments so that you can follow along to any other important charts and guides that we have regarding bowling balls. But otherwise, if you guys enjoyed, make sure to drop a subscription. Thank you all so much for the views, for watching. Really appreciate it. If you guys enjoy this kind of content, let me know down below in the comments. Otherwise, I will see you on the next one.